Happy Monday, guys. We are moving on to 5.8, which is called Law of Cosine. So 5.8. So far, yesterday we talked about law of sines. So I'm going to kind of recap what we did yesterday. When we talk about solving triangles, we have a few different ways that we can do this. First off, if it's a right triangle, then we do our SOHCAHTOA. If it's not a right triangle, then we move on to our law of sines. So I'm just going to say law of sines, and we are watching out for that special case of law of sines, the angle, side, side triangle, where we could have 0, 1, or 2 triangles. So here we are, this is all great, but what happens if I give you guys a triangle like this? Let's see if I can draw one here. And I've got 84 here for this side, and I've got 78 over here for this side, and I know that this angle up here is 102. Okay? Will law of sines work for this? Do I have an angle and a side across from it? And I don't think there's any way that I can do this. In this, since we've been talking about our geometry triangles, this is an angle, side, angle. Sorry, it's a side, angle, side. Side angle, side triangle. Okay. And our law of sines won't work anymore. So we are going to move on to the law of cosines. Now, law of cosines takes a little bit longer, but it's still just as effective, especially if we have a triangle like this side angle, side triangle, that we cannot solve using our law of sines. So the law of cosines looks like this. A squared, remember this is a side, equals b squared plus c squared minus 2 times b times c times cosine of a. Now, of course, your triangles won't always be labeled A, B, and C, and you always won't be looking for angle A or side A, but what you do need to watch out for is the pattern here. And the pattern that you should be noticing is that cosine A is at the end here, and A squared is at this end here, and in between the middle we have B squared, B, C, and B and C in the middle here as well. So whatever angle you're looking for, the side should be on the other side of the equal sign, or if you're looking for this side, the cosine of that angle should be here. So let's put this into action here. Let's solve this triangle that I gave you a little bit before. So for example, I have this angle here. So I'm going to solve for this side here, and these are the pieces that I'm going to put here in yellow. Didn't mean to put yellow on that one, but these two pieces here. So a squared, I can just continue to call it a squared, equals b squared, doesn't matter which one we choose next, so I have 84 squared plus 78 squared minus 2 times 84 times 78 times cosine of 102. At this point, you should be getting out your calculator. I'm going to write this in red so it matches, which is what I said to do before. And you should start typing these numbers into your calculator. So what I like to do is 84 squared, which I got to be 756, plus 78 squared, which is 6048, and then you subtract and type all this in. 2 times 84 times 78 times cosine 102, and I got negative 27 24.47. So hopefully this is what you got as well, and you are remembering that when you have subtract a negative, you are really going to add the opposite. So all of these things together add up to our a squared. So if you add all those together, when I did that, I got, and you guys are all typing in your calculators because you know I like you to participate. I got 1, 5, 8, 6, 4.47. And to find a, you want to take the square root of both sides. And once you do that, I got my a and I rounded to equal approximately, so I could say approximately 126 here. So hopefully you guys see the relationship here between the missing side and the angle directly across from it. If you guys need a little bit more time to catch up, now's a good time to hit pause. Okay, we just talked about a side angle side triangle, but also law of cosines work with a side 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 triangle. So when you've got a side 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 triangle, and I'll get a picture here, it's going to be our example. We're going to have sides 24, 40, and 18. So I've got these three sides. When you are solving for a side, side, side triangle, you're going to find the angle, which is biggest. Find the biggest angle first. Write that. Find the biggest angle first. And how do I know which one is biggest? The biggest angle is across from the longest side. So if you are looking at this one, the longest side here is 40, even though I didn't draw it that way. So the biggest angle is going to be this one. It doesn't really matter what my picture looks like. I just need to make sure I find the biggest angle first. Okay, so we're going to start here. Now I've highlighted these, so maybe I'll write them in red again, remembering that this is going to go on one side of my equation, and I'm going to have cosine of this angle, which we could call A. Let me actually grab the red pen here. We could call this angle A so that we know this is side A. So I'm going to have 40 squared equals, and then I'm going to use my other two sides. So I'm going to have 24 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times 24 times 18 times cosine of my side A. That's the one I'm looking for. So I've got A on this side and A on that side. This one gets a little tricky. These first few computations aren't too bad. You guys are going to type this in your calculator. 40 squared is 1,600. Hopefully you guys are agreeing with me and typing in. 24 squared, I got 324 plus 18 squared, which is 576. And then I'm going to multiply 2 times 24 times 18, and I get 864. But remember that this is multiplied by cosine of A. So what you all want to do at this point is add 324 plus 576 and subtract 864. But you cannot do that because this is multiplication. So if it helps you, put a parenthesis around it right now. What you can do is add together 324 and 576. So when I did that, I got 900. So I have 900 minus 864 times cosine of A equal to 1,600. And I can subtract 900 from both sides. When I do that, I get 700 equals negative 864 times cosine of A. So now you guys are going to divide divide by negative 864, because we're trying to get cosine A by itself. So divide by negative 864. Divide by negative 864. When I did that, I got negative 0.81 something, dot, 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 dot. I don't know what it was in my calculator, but I'm going to leave it like that because then I have cosine A here. And remember, to solve for A now, we need to take the cosine inverse. So what I do is say cosine inverse in my calculator, and then just hit that answer key. Hopefully you guys know where that is since I can't show you right now, but it'll take the whole decimal and put it in here for you. And you hit enter, and I got cosine of A equals to about 144 degrees. Okay, so that is A. We have solved for A. So our biggest angle should be across from our biggest side. So A equals 144. Now, here's the important thing. Next important thing. We now have a side and an angle directly across from it. And now you guys can use law of sines to solve this. You could use law of cosines again, but don't do it. It will take too long. It'll work, it'll be just as effective, but it'll take too long. So you are going to hit pause on the video and try and find the 2 extra sides. And I'm going to let you work on that. And when you are done finding the other 2 sides, you're going to check with your neighbors. Then you're going to hit play again and get your homework assignment.